The Night King kind of looks like Bran.
Yeah.
I think they're the same person. Just based on the fact that I think he looks like him.
Now, play on that theory, because I agree. I think he's changed his appearance over the seasons, and I feel as though
Absolutely has.
that's
The Night
to
King we saw at Hard Home does not look like the Night King we see now.
no, obviously for a grown adult, not realistically um, going to pass much in appearance over the time. Um, it's,
My theory is based on nothing more than they both have a big nose. That's really the genesis of it. But then, in the days after that episode aired, I started seeing tons of different, tons of theories online of how Bran could be the Night King. I'm not the only one who thinks that. I don't necessarily really think that, but there's definitely merit to some of people's theories.
yeah.
That Bran could have, Bran can travel through time, but he can't travel through physically yet. Maybe he can in the future. He's not
I don't
fully
think he'll ever
developed
be able.
as.
I don't think he'll ever be able to travel through physically.
You never know.
No. Well, this is based off George R. R. Martin's previous work.
Okay.
So he's written time travel stories previously, more than once.
Right.
He doesn't subscribe to the idea of physical time travel because of the whole paradoxes thing.
Right.
Because if you go back and convince,
Of course.
if you go back and kill your granddad, then how can you exist?
Yep.
But he's always written from the mental paradox thing. So if you go in and become and possess, if that's the right word, possess someone else, go and possess your granddad's brother to kill your granddad.
Right.
Then there's no paradox created there because it was your granddad's brother that killed your granddad.
Right.
So he's always written it from the mental perspective, not the physical perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I can't imagine that he's suddenly going to decide that physical time travel is possible. It'll, if anything, it's going to stay.
But then again, we're not
mental.
going off George's script anymore.
I don't think he'd allow them to write it.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
That's
He
fine.
must have some say so of what's going out.
Absolutely.
It's his. He's got the rights to it.
They're still following his broad strokes.
Yeah.
The details entirely the show writers these days. Well, the broad strokes are still George's. I can't imagine that he'd allow Bran to become sort of physical time traveling.
Well, the theory I saw, or at least the one, the one I saw, says that Bran was able to, speak to Hodor. Hodor heard him. That's how Hodor became Hodor. His father heard him. The Night King saw him and touched him. So maybe potentially he could, go through physically at some point if he, as he progresses with his powers. He never fully trained as the Three-Eyed Raven. The guy died and he became it, unprepared completely. So if he hones his skills, maybe he possibly could. And the theory with the Night King is that that guy, even though he's a completely different actor who did it, the guy who the Children of the Forest put the dragon glass into, is Bran. Bran went back to maybe warn the Children of the Forest. Children of the Forest at this time are still, at war with the First Men, and captured him and did that to him, and that's how he becomes the Night King.
It's probably a Bran.
Could be Bran.
I don't think it's Bran. I don't really buy into this theory.
No, but I think it's worth talking about. It's interesting. I think there's merit to it. I think there's something there. Like I said, the Night King that time saw him and touched him. Maybe he knew he was going to be there because he's already done that. Or earlier in the season, Bran is walking and he's flying north of the wall. There's some ravens, and the Night King turns and looks directly at the raven that he's in, like he knew. I think there's something there. I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. And now they're through, and they march south of the wall for the first time.
They do. And they march with another throw out to the theory of Bran.
Oh, you know, I was going to bring this up.
I do know. The theory of Bran being the Night King.
Go on, hit us with it.
The army of the dead walking through the gap created by the wall.
Mm-hmm.
They walk in the formation of the Stark's symbol.
Sigil, yeah, they do. Yeah. They form the wolf's head along with the pattern of the fur and everything.
Yeah. I didn't spot it first time.
Did you catch that, Greg?
I did not.
I'll have to send you the image when we're done.
Yeah, it was pretty near damn close.
Yeah, it's another point that reinforces that Bran theory, for sure.
Yeah. Again, a very nice visual. When I actually look back at it, I missed it first time. But
as did I.
I saw it afterwards after doing a bit of reading, and visually it was there.
Yeah, same. I probably wouldn't have caught it the second time either if I hadn't seen the image online before.
I'm going to be really disappointed if this theory turns out to be true.
You're really against it.
I'm going to be really disappointed.
This is the problem. When we were talking about it before, I didn't know if you knew about this, and I was like, all signs are pointing towards it. That's the problem. It's very sort of hard to disprove, I suppose, at the minute with these little things that are coming in.